In this assignment, we're going to create kind of a postfix stack calculator. Typically, we all learn to do math, in the infix style. 2 plus 3, and 2 plus 3 would be 5. We're going to do this as a postfix calculator kind of here. We're going to do 2, 3 plus, and you're going to take the two top items of the stack and give a 5 in that case. A postfix calculator, you think, why in the heck would anybody ever do this, or what's going on here? There are actually some calculators sold. HP used to make them that actually operated as a postfix calculator. If you use a postfix calculator, you don't really need parentheses. You're just putting things onto a stack. It requires a very different way of thinking, but in some ways it's more efficient. You don't need to put all the parentheses. Someone doing postfix can probably solve a problem faster than someone like me that kind of needs infix as a default. And here you're going to build a really simple one. I'm going to provide some starter code. I'm going to quickly walk you through that starter code. We're going to use a stack. We're going to do a while true loop. We talked about this before. We will break out of this while loop if the user doesn't input anything. Here is the default. If it says a plus, we're going to take two items from the stack and add them and push it back on. And obviously we would need to come in here and do like an else, potentially else if, all the rest of them. This GitHub Copilot there, which I haven't figured out how to turn off, knows how to solve this. This is in the realm of kind of a known problem. It's not like real software. This is something that's a kind problem. It's fairly straightforward, and you're going to get to an answer. One thing we will need to do is we're going to actually need to push things to the stack. You've done this before. Actually, this is it right there. You'll need to do something like this to actually push the items to the stack. Now this is using int32. We'll want to use int. Int32 and int are the exact same thing, by the way. But since we're in C#, I think we want to typically use the more C# version of things. Actually, if we look back at some of the previous examples we looked at, we were using the wrong version of string. So we were using the capital version, and typically if we're doing something with strings in C#, we want to use the lowercase, the keyword specific to the language, and that's what we'd want to use here. And this would get an item onto the stack. And the end of this program, so you need to add these, you're going to have to add support for the other types, subtraction, multiplication, division. And then at the very end of the program, I always want us to dump the entire contents of the stack. So how would this work? Come in and run. Always takes a second on these VMs. Input, I'm going to do 10. So that's going to put 10 on the stack. And then I'm going to do 5. Put 5 on the stack. And then I'm going to do plus because it supports that. Adding 5 and 10 results in 10. And now our stack should have a 15 on it, right? So if I do another 5 and then do another plus, I should get 20. And I do. And if I just press enter, I'll exit. Again, a stack, really simple stack calculator. We're going to continue to expand this with later activities as we learn about classes and methods, but this is a good kind of stopping point to kind of work on the things we've learned so far. All right. Again, you can look up answers and get answers to something like this, but it's really important you work through this yourself. As you get better at things, it's nice to rely on other tools that can do things quicker for you. But while we're learning, I think it's really important you learn each step. If you don't understand what something's doing, kind of what we talked about in a few of these videos, step through each one using the debugger. It'll help a lot. You can actually look at things and look at what's going on. Good luck.